It appears the football gods want Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to play every year.
Because I think this will tell us, Coach, if the Bills are a legitimate top-tier Super Bowl contender or just a playoff team.
What I do think is really important is this. The Bills were set up perfectly for something they've never had. The 1 seed and a bye. And I feel they have squandered that edge.
Bills Mafia, this was it. The performance you were waiting to see against none other than the Kansas City Chiefs. This post-bye version of the defense is legit. Patrick Mahomes was under siege all game long, and the passing attack is back. This is the complete version of the Buffalo Bills that absolutely stands out as the top team in the AFC, with so much coming together in time for the second half of the season. It's officially time to admit that the Buffalo Bills know exactly what they are doing. Obviously, when you think of the Bills, the first player that comes to mind is Josh Allen, the reigning MVP. While his incredible day versus Kansas City is worth celebrating, which we will do shortly, it's only right that we start with the defense. This unit has been far from perfect, but in Week 9, we saw a whole new version of the Bills' defense. A version that should get fans very excited about the possibility of finally exercising their playoff demons. First and foremost, what an introduction to pro football it has been for first-round rookie cornerback Maxwell Hairston. He only just made his debut against Carolina in Week 8, and now he is out there in just the second game of his career, holding his own against none other than Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. He was targeted 4 times, giving up just 1 reception for 18 yards, and, crucially, coming away with his first career interception. Watching him go to work against Xavier Worthy was incredible. He matched him stride for stride on this go route, completely neutralising Worthy's best asset, his speed. For his efforts in this game, Hairston earned a 91.4 coverage grade from PFF. Welcome to the league, rookie. Fair play to you. That's a hell of a start. Hairston wasn't alone though. Second-year safety Cole Bishop also had a career game, giving up just 2 receptions on 7 targets and seemingly being everywhere on the field. He, Hairston, and the rest of this resurgent Buffalo defense did something that no team has ever done before. They held Patrick Mahomes under a 50% completion rate for the first time in his career. And it wasn't by a small margin either. Mahomes produced a putrid 44.1% completion rate against Buffalo, with no touchdowns and 1 interception. Of course, it wasn't just the secondary that was playing lights out. Joey Bosa also had one hell of a game, racking up 9 pressures, 1 sack, and 4 quarterback hits, on a day when the Bills put Mahomes on the deck 3 times and hit him 15 times in total. This is absolutely the kind of thing that Bills fans wanted to see from their defense. They harassed Mahomes all day long and handled what was a red-hot offense coming into the game. This is the kind of thing that has plagued this team when losing to KC in the postseason, and between Bosa impacting the game off the edge and Hairston looking like a stud at corner already, this unit looks well positioned to finally get the job done in January. Now, it's just a case of praying they stay healthy, especially considering Ed Oliver is already sidelined and Michael Hoyt is now done with an Achilles injury after impressing in his only 2 games of the season after his suspension. The defense really has looked like a completely different unit since the bye week, which is especially exciting when you consider just how good we already know this offense can be. Josh Allen set a new franchise record in Week 9 with an 88.5% completion rate against the Chiefs. He completed 23 of his 26 pass attempts for 273 yards and a touchdown, while adding 19 yards and 2 more touchdowns on the ground. With those 2 rushing touchdowns, Allen became the NFL's leading rushing touchdown scorer at the quarterback position. And he became the first quarterback in NFL history to have at least 6 rushing touchdowns in each of his first 8 seasons, and just the 4th player ever. But it is what he did in the passing game in this game against the Chiefs that will make fans particularly excited. Chunk plays through the air were a consistent part of the game, steadying the ship and getting things back on track after an underwhelming few weeks on that front. This was Buffalo Bills football at its finest, treating us to a wide variety of tight end heavy formations and using the run game to open up opportunities for big plays. The biggest beneficiary of this was Dalton Kincaid, who is now officially enjoying a breakout season. He leads the team with 411 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season so far, and has crossed the 100-yard mark in 2 of his last 3 games. If you want to rely heavily on your group of tight ends, you need one of them to be a difference maker as a receiver, and Kincaid certainly fits that bill. He's a big boy who can move, and is making plays after the catch as well. It was his blocking that was always a bit of a negative for Kincaid, but even that looks to be slightly improved this year. All in all, it looks like he is now showing the kind of ceiling that Buffalo fans were hoping for when he was taken in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Khalil Shakir is as reliable as they come as a slot receiver, and now that Kincaid is emerging as another big play weapon and reliable target for Allen, the passing attack is really starting to click into gear. Last but not least, we have James Cook. In many ways, it's very unfair to leave this guy to last because he's been the engine of this Bills offense in 2025. He has already racked up 867 yards and 7 touchdowns at an average clip of 5.7 yards per carry. He was fed repeatedly against the Chiefs to the tune of 27 carries for 114 yards, becoming the first player to run for over 100 yards against them in the last 33 regular season games. Just like it was with the defense, these Buffalo Bills in Week 9 were doing things that people don't normally do to Kansas City. This game was the perfect recipe for downing the bully boys of the AFC, and it just so happens to be the exact blueprint that Buffalo wants to live by. Josh Allen is now 5-1 versus Mahomes in the regular season. So much of the post-game analysis is going to focus on the idea that none of this really matters unless Buffalo does it again in January. To some extent, that's true. But it is also important to celebrate another impressive win over a very talented team, and recognise that this win in particular was different. This is the perfect blueprint to beating these Kansas City Chiefs, and these Buffalo Bills certainly look pretty terrifying for the remainder of the season. So, Bills Mafia, how are you feeling about this 2025 campaign? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do subscribe as I'm trying to grow up the channel, and any subscribes are much appreciated. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.